What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how tall do you really need to be to join the United States Air Force. But before we get into the details, let's cover the basics. My name is Michael Inman and I'm an airman in the United States Air Force. I upload videos most Mondays, so if you like military and or Air Force content specifically, definitely hit the subscribe button below. But make sure you turn the notification bell to on so you do know when I upload a brand new video. But now that we've got the introductions out of the way, let's jump into this week's video. So I do understand that there is sometimes a little bit of anxiety about are you too short and or are you way too tall to join the Air Force? Now, for me, since I am over 6 foot, I guess maybe you was concerned about am I too tall to join? Now, of course, since we're called the Air Force, a question that usually will come into the minds of, I guess, short and tall people are, well, are there weird requirements to like be on planes in the Air Force? Like, wonder if I'm too tall to be on an Air Force plane. I don't know. These are the things that I slightly pondered before joining the Air Force. Now, of course, before you start asking obvious questions, I have been on a plane before. So I have flown commercial flights before. But again, I just wasn't sure if maybe the US Air Force has like, I don't know, maybe really small chairs. The point being, everyone, in this video, we are going to squash those anxieties, answer those questions, and really remove the ambiguity regarding how tall do you need to be to join and how tall can you not be to join. Wait, what is the max height to join the Air Force? Also, we are going to briefly cover how your height may or may not affect your experience in the Air Force. Yes, this may be applicable to other branches of the military and or life. But for this video, we are going to look at the topic through the lens of your Air Force experience. Let's jump in. So let's cover the main thing up front, okay? You know, bottom line up front, bluff. Once you get your military email, you're gonna be seeing a lot of that because I guess that's a thing that is said in the military. If you know internet speech, you know, if you peruse the interwebs, then you know another term that is more common on like, I don't know, Tumblr and things of that nature. It is too long, didn't read, TLDR. But as you would expect, too long, didn't read is slightly disrespectful. So instead, what you'll see on emails is bottom line up front, or BLUF, B-L-U-F, and next to BLUF, it will have a, you know, summary of all of the things in the big essay email or essay paper up front. So yes, you're supposed to read it, but just in case you're like a general and you have a lot of things being emailed to you, you have the bottom line of the paper. So the main point they're trying to get across up front. What is the minimum height to join the military? Or sorry, to join the Air Force? The minimum height in inches is 58 inches. And that relatively translates to 4'10". So you need to be 4'10" minimum to join the Air Force. Height-wise, if you are 4'10", your weight needs to be between 91 pounds at the lower end to 131 pounds on the higher end. Now that we've discussed the minimum, let's bump all the way to the other end of the spectrum. So how tall can you be without getting DQ'd, disqualified from the Air Force altogether? Well, the maximum height is 80 inches, and that translates to 6'8". You are 6 foot 8 inches. You a real tall person, okay? Like tall. So, with that maximum height to join the Air Force, you are allowed to be a minimum of 173 pounds, but no heftier than 250 pounds. And that is the minimum and maximum weight for the maximum height of joining the Air Force of 6'8" or 80 inches. And now I'm gonna give you some tidbits on how height may affect your experience. To be honest, it don't really matter. Now, of course, all you woke folk out there, hello, You're probably saying, Michael, you have height privilege. You don't even know. You don't even notice if it matters or not. Slow your roll. I am self-aware and I am aware of what's going on around me, in my humble opinion. Okay? So, hey. So, from what I have witnessed around me, from my peers on the shorter, shorter side of things, is that pretty much, I just don't know if it makes a huge difference. Maybe it's just the positive, generally positive culture of the Air Force, but I just don't think your height matters too much because we are just a very, are you good at your job culture? Like, be good at your job, the rest, be good at your job, and the factors that don't matter, don't matter. Whether you're a giant or you are very, very short, that does not mean you can't be, the next chief of staff of the Air Force, the next secretary of the Air Force, the next chief master sergeant of the Air Force. From what I have witnessed, you have all of the possibilities ahead of you, and we are not someone to discriminate based on height. But at the same time, during your time of basic training, height will slightly play a factor, or at least it'll be more in your face. Because if you remember from my previous episodes, is that you are sized by height in your flight. So you are going to be sized by height before you march anywhere, whether it be to the DFAC or the clinic. You will be in height order. So you will, one, be aware of your height, but you'll also not feel bad about it because everyone around you will be a similar height. So isn't that nice? Now, for my female flights, I'm pretty sure I saw dorm chiefs of all heights, of just a variance of heights. So I don't know if it's as, prominent in the female flights, but I know in the male flights, the dorm chiefs tended to be either tall, or all of it together. There was a bias towards height, a bias towards muscular stature, and a bias toward age. So if you were older, like if you're getting 28 to 32, MTLs were like, so you gonna lead this ship, right? You gonna get them to the finish line, my dude, right? So keep that in mind. But other than BMT, where maybe your height will dictate how possible it is for you to be randomly chosen first to be dorm chief, the rest doesn't matter. Also, I guess the element leaders, you would think there'd be a bias of height toward element leaders, but that's not even a thing. And of course, this applies to both male and female flights. When I saw element leaders throughout multiple flights at BMT and also looking into my own flights element leaders, where I was one of them, there is a whole random range. Like, there will be me, and then another tall person, or me, and then an average height person, and then like a very small person, then another very small person, and or three small people, and then a tall fourth element leader. It really is all over the place. It is clearly, at least in my experience, clearly dictated by who the MTLs were like. These individuals seem to have their ish together a little bit. Like, they seem slightly focused. Once you get out of BMT and you go to tech school, literally the ropes, aka the leaders of their peers, if you want to be a leader, become a rope. The ropes are every height. And for females, every height is represented. All the males, there's all the heights represented. It's a whole thing. So you are not going to be held back by your height. So keep that in mind if you are someone who has a little bit of anxiety regarding your height. At least in the Air Force, you will be fine, because once you get out of BMT into tech school, and especially in the real Air Force, you can be very small. And if you are the best at your job, literally all your peers will be like, how do you do this again? What do we do next? Do we have to go to this meeting? Yo, Wilson, last name. Yo, Wilson, are you going? Because in parentheses, because you're our de facto leader. So whether it's Miss Wilson or Mr. Wilson, Wilson, are you going? Because one, you know the job, so we all ask you questions. Two, you probably show up earlier than other people, so people are like, they care way more than I do. Good for, man, Wilson, you the one. You the one. And then, of course, now you're like a de facto leader. So then you just also influence people to put their best foot forward. So it don't matter how tall or short you are. Once you become, the GOAT, height don't matter. You're the GOAT. So in conclusion, everyone, if you don't hear what I'm saying, your height will not matter. Just be good at your job and people will flock to you for leadership, advice, and guidance. You heard it here first, folks. I want to thank you guys for joining me on today's height discussion. Yes, also for all of my subscribers, thank you for subscribing. If you have watched this whole darn video and you haven't subscribed yet, here, we'll say this. As you've heard before, if you have watched more than 2 videos, I propose you subscribe. Because at this point we're getting close. And if I get to 5K, who knows? I may chit chat with you all. Maybe we'll see. TBD, I don't know. I can't make any promises. But if you enjoyed the video, definitely subscribe. Definitely comment and like below. I will, of course, get to any comments you guys leave. And other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your week. If you want to see more of this face, you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at @MichaelAInman_. Over and out. Bye.